1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister rules out normalization of ties with India unless it reverses its illegal acts of 5th August 2019 in the illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The Foreign Minister has asked India to provide conducive environment if it wants to normalize relations with Pakistan. The Minister for Planning says the projects under China-Pakistan Economic Corridor are progressing at a fast pace. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has expressed deep concern over the hike in killings and arrest spree unleashed by the Indian forces in the territory. In India, 22 security forces personnel have been killed in one of the bloodiest attacks by the separatists in Chhattisgarh state. In the second one-day cricket international at Johannesburg, South Africa have set a victory target of 342 runs for Pakistan. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has categorically ruled out normalization of ties with India unless it reverses its illegal acts of August 5th, 2019 in the illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. He was talking to the people while responding to their telephone calls directly on Pakistan television today. The interaction with the people was also broadcast live on Radio Pakistan's National Hookup, while Pakistan Broadcasting Corporation's social media live streamed it from all its platforms. The Prime Minister said, "We have fought Kashmir issue at all global fora in a way never done or happened in the past." Talking about the third wave of coronavirus, the Prime Minister urged the nation to strictly observe the standard operating procedures, particularly wearing a face mask to protect themselves and their families against the deadly pandemic. He said if the current trend of the virus spread persists, it will put our health system and the economy under tremendous pressure. Imran Khan said, "We are not going for a lockdown, but only implementing restrictions." Answering another query, Imran Khan said the government is fully focused on controlling inflation and he has directed for a large-scale crackdown against the middlemen who are a major reason for sugar and flour price hike. He said the government will ensure provision of all commodities at the utility stores at subsidized rates during the holy month of Ramadan. He said Ramadan bazaars will also be established so that the people could get essential items at affordable rates. The Prime Minister said the country's major economic indicators are moving in a positive direction. Responding to a caller, the Prime Minister said the society as a cohesive unit should extend full support to the government to succeed in the fight against the menace of corruption. Responding to another caller, the Prime Minister said a crackdown has been started against land grabbers to recover the official and private lands. He said the government has so far retrieved government land worth 450 billion rupees from the mafia. He asked the nation to register their complaints regarding land grabbers on the Prime Minister's portal so that the government could act against them. The Minister for Finance and Revenue, Hamad Azhar, says despite challenges, the economy of the country is in much better condition than it was back in 2018 when the incumbent government assumed power. Talking in live call session along with the Prime Minister Imran Khan, he said in 2018 Pakistan was at the verge of default, but today's Pakistan, even after the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, is moving ahead on the path of growth and progress. Hamad Azhar said the government had to take some hard decisions and had to devalue the currency and increase the interest rate. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has urged the world to take notice of the Indian atrocities being committed in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Addressing a press conference in Bulletin today, he said the situation in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir has deteriorated extremely due to severe human rights violations by the Indian occupying forces. The foreign minister said India's illegal step to abrogate the special status of the illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir has produced distress and uncertainty in the region. He said Pakistan has raised the Kashmir issue at every international forum and desires to resolve it through negotiations. The foreign minister said dialogue between the two sides is the only way to bring peace and stability in the region, as both the countries are atomic powers and they cannot go for a war. He said if India wants to normalize relations with Pakistan, then it has to provide a conducive environment for it. This is Radio Pakistan. The Minister for Planning and Development, Asad Umar, says projects under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor are progressing at a fast pace. He was addressing the reception ceremony at the Karachi port today of the first consignment carrying equipment and machinery for setting up of a steel mill in Rashakai Special Economic Zone. Asad Omar said the government will continue working day and night for the success of CPAC, which is now entering into the most important second phase. He said CPAC projects are now not limited to infrastructure only. The minister informed that CRBC, a Chinese firm, has entered into an agreement with Pakistan under CPAC to promote foreign investments for the development and marketing in Rashakai Special Economic Zone. He said the Century Steel, a Chinese firm with investment of $240 million, would set up a steel mill in Rashakai Special Economic Zone, which would produce about 1.5 million tons of steel. The firm would also employ over 600 Pakistanis during construction phase, while in the second phase, over 1,000 people would be provided jobs. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has expressed deep concern over the hike in killing and arrest spree unleashed by the brutal Indian forces in the territory. The All Parties Hurriyat Conference Working Vice Chairman Ghulam Ahmed Gulzar, in a statement issued in Srinagar, deplored that the Indian troops were committing the worst kind of human rights violations on one pretext or the other. He urged the United Nations and the international community to fulfill their pledges with respect to the implementation of the Security Council resolutions on Kashmir. Meanwhile, the regional political parties have stepped up the demand for restoration of the statehood of Jammu and Kashmir with Articles 370 and 35A. On the other hand, the Indian police arrested 10 youths during raids and cordon search operations at different places in Pulwama district. In India, at least 22 security forces personnel have been killed in one of the bloodiest attacks by the separatist state group in Chhattisgarh. A senior official has confirmed the security forces were attacked during an operation. The separatists, also known as Naxalites, have waged an armed struggle insurgency against the Indian government for decades. Leaders of the group say they are fighting on behalf of the poorest who have not benefited since long. In Myanmar, anti-coup demonstrators have decorated boiled eggs as Pope Francis, in his Easter message, expressed solidarity with the country's youth. On Easter, decorated eggs became the latest emblem of resistance as scores of Myanmar protesters painted political message on them and left them on neighbors' doorsteps. In Pinmana, protesters also hit the streets against today, some carrying flags and riding motorbikes, while security forces opened fire on them and killed one. And now cricket, and the second one-day international of the three-match series at Johannesburg against South Africa, chasing a victory target of 342 runs. Pakistan were 55 runs for the loss of one wicket in 9.2 overs a short while ago. Batting first, South Africa scored 341 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in the stipulated 50 overs. Pakistan leads this three-match series 1-0. And finally, the weather. Weather will remain hot and dry in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain, wind, thunderstorm is expected in Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Gilgit-Baltistan, Potawar region and Kashmir during the night hours tonight. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.